Click on Add Feedback. Then I will simply paste what I just copied. Hey guys, welcome back to Pathology. Today I am here to tell you everything you have ever wanted to know about trial classes. Trials 101. Let's go. So what is a trial class? A trial class is a 25-minute class where a student who is not signed up for VIPKID can come and take 3 trial classes to try out the platform to see if they and their parents approve of the VIPKID learning style, the content, and honestly you as a teacher. So once you make the decision that you want to try out teaching trial classes, you simply go to your teacher portal and you have to obtain that certification on the certification drop-down tab. So there's a little bit of learning in here. They kind of familiarize you with the content of the lesson, how to click through the slides, how to interact with them. I will say the trial slides most of the time are pretty fancy compared to the rest of the content that VIPKID develops for the older students, just because obviously they are trying to impress and wow these parents and have them sign up for VIPKID. Not that any of their stuff is bad, but the younger kids have very interactive, very clicky, dragging, coloring, all those types of things within the lesson. So it's important for you to pay attention during the certification stage. So once you learn all of the content that you can through the certification process, you will finish your certification by taking a super simple quiz. And after that, you will be able to start teaching trials. It's important to note that you cannot choose when you are going to teach a trial. That is a common misconception. So you will just go to your normal bookings page, open up the slots that you are able to teach, and VIPKID will put the trials there for you. Once the learning partners or the people who oversee all your classes for VIPKID, once they are watching your classes and see, wow, they are loving this trial experience, they're doing very well with these students, they will keep sending them your way. You guys, I teach trials every single day. I teach like somewhere around 5 every single day. That's a lot of trials. So as with any other class, there is a set curriculum for the trial classes. So it is up to the teacher's discretion whether you need to make the trial a more difficult trial or an easier trial based on the student. And forewarning, you will get 2-year-olds, you will get 15-year-olds. I have actually taught a 28-year-old before in a trial class as well. So that is quite the range, from 2 to 28, you will see it all. Trial classes definitely take a little more mojo, a little more energy, and honestly just a little practice to figure out how to scaffold up if your student needs a little bit more of a challenge, how to scaffold down, and how to pick the right lesson for your kid. And you really get to learn. Obviously you are teaching them throughout the lesson, but if they are struggling so much that they can't say the word whale or red or something like that, you're gonna need to change the lesson to go down to an easier lesson, and that comes with time. A plus side of trials, just like any other class that you teach on VIPKID though, is that the classes are already done. There's no prep needed. There is no lesson planning, anything along those lines. So you just log on, get your props ready, and you're ready to roll. So the next important thing to note about trials is all of the props. I will make an entirely different video on just what kind of props I use for trials. I have perfected it. I know exactly what props I'm going to need no matter what trial I get, whether it's all the way down to learning, red, blue, green, or if it's all the way up to the highest level trials where they're talking about boarding an airplane with a passport. So I will make a separate video on that. But just for an example, and you will learn this as you go along, always have colors. So red, blue, yellow, all just the normal colors of the rainbow. You can add in a couple more like funky colors if you want to teach them even the difference between like light blue and dark blue. Aside from colors, markers, whatever you want to use in the color realm, animals are the next best thing because animals are colorful, like I just said, so you can really extend with the colors on different animals. You can even talk about fur. Is it soft? Is it pokey? What is it? They have big ears. So many different things. And I've said this before, but I will say it 1,000 times more. Unintentional rhyming. You do not need to buy a bunch of stuff. Honestly, the only things I would buy would be a light, a headset, and a whiteboard, and markers to go with the whiteboard. That's it. I would go around your house, find dog toys, find children toys, go to your fridge. Do you have a magnet? This is a magnet. Flashcards from your kids, whatever you can find that's free. Honestly, use your dog. Like, I could talk about Cannon. He is black. Cannon. Yeah, he is black. You know, woof woof. Talk about the noises animals make. I mean, make it as free and cheap as possible. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Having very simple props that can help you scaffold up or scaffold down depending on how difficult the student is struggling or how well they are doing will save you. And if you have a lot of time left at the end, and if you're new, there's a very good chance of that you haven't paced yourself correctly, because that comes with time. Those props will save you, because you can talk about different colors. You could hold up an animal like a crab and say, what color is it? And if they don't answer you, you could hold up an orange, like an orange marker, and say orange, 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 and then hold up the crab. What color is it? Orange. And then they learn from that. All right, now let's talk about parent feedback. So this is always super intimidating when you are new, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm telling this parent how their kid did. It's a trial lesson. They were struggling. Honestly, every kid struggles through a trial lesson. Maybe like 1 out of every 30 already has a foundation of English and does very well in a trial lesson. It is few and far between, people. So the feedback is always positive. You can give them something to work on at home. So have Billy practice saying blue, baloo at home. And a hack that I have for writing feedback, I will show you here. So you start by going to your VIPKID platform home screen, and you will click on the student that you would like to provide feedback for. So I will show you how to get there, but I actually have to get there a different way because I want to write feedback about a class I already taught. So click on the student, and then you will go here to materials. So I am going to go a different way. And then I'm going to open materials. This is a great place to prep for your classes if you want to go over slides. This is not a trial class, just to be clear. This is a vocabulary class, but they are all set up exactly the same, exactly like this. So I scroll down to lesson notes and look for the feedback template tab. Click on that once. And then I just find a template that I like to use. There's a lot of these. If you click show more or most recent, I normally go for one of these top 3 just because they translate very well normally. In the beginning, when I was doing a lot of just typing out my own feedback and not using these templates, I would always Google Translate every single feedback. I don't do that anymore. I've gotten really good at knowing how to know which words will translate and which words will not, so I'll have to put them in brackets. So that's a huge tip. If there's anything you want to not be translated, put it in brackets. All right, so then I close out of this, and then I will go to my student's classroom. So this is a student that I have already taught, but I'm just doing that for the purposes of this video. So I'll click on add feedback. Then I will simply paste what I just copied. This makes it so simple, you guys. If you've ever done manual feedback, this simplifies it so much. So I'll always start out by saying hello. And this was a new student for me, so I'll say it was so nice to meet Jack today. I will delete it was great seeing him again because I've never seen him before. Learn the words. These are all of our vocab words. Make sure they didn't miss any. He did well pronouncing the words correctly. He was able to listen to audio clips. So these feedback templates are so easy because they literally, most of the time, put a star where you just have to specify which gender or which student you were talking about. And he did struggle saying the word tall, so I'll say, please have Jack practice saying the word tall and describing his family members for fun. And then I always put teacher Peyton R in brackets. Luckily, I have a unique name. If you're like a Sarah or something like that, there are thousands of them. Always be sure to put your last initial or they will have an impossible time finding you to book you again. And the tips for the next teacher, I will say what reward I did. This is literally for my own benefit, so I always remember what reward I did, because in my next class with Jack, if he books me again, my feedback goes right here, and I will see, oh, last time I taught him, we made ice cream. Don't want to do that again, just to repeat rewards. So Jack is an outstanding student. Perfect. If there's anything major, I would also add it in here. Like if they were 15 minutes late, if they had tech issues, if mom or dad were overly helpful, if there's anything weird that happened, I always throw it in there too. This lesson was appropriate for my student. For listening and speaking, he did excellent on absolutely everything. He was a stellar student. And then I will hit submit. And this goes directly to the student's parents and the student. If I need to edit, I can do so, and then I can resubmit. So that is it. That is my feedback hack. So as you can see, it is super easy to provide parent feedback when using this little trick that I've found. Obviously, customize it as much as possible. So you can always add in, this is what Billy can work on this week at home. He can say the word blue, or practice saying, I see an alligator, or whatever they need to work on. Have mom and dad do that work at home with them. Okay, let's move on to incentives, everybody's favorite topic. There are two main incentives that primarily center on trial classes. The first of these is the short notice booking bonus. So if you open up a teaching slot on your bookings page and it gets booked within 24 hours for a class, and it's a trial class or not a trial class, it could be a regular student as well, you get a $2 bonus just for that class. So if you fill a full hour of bookings, you get $4. If you fill 2 hours, you get $8. It builds and builds and builds, which is a lot of money if you add it up. Each month I get anywhere between 50 and 100 only for short notice bookings. A question that I am commonly asked is, okay, so I opened up a short notice booking slot. I got booked for the class, and then the student didn't show up. Do I still get that $2 bonus? Yes. So you will get paid when students do not show up, half of the class. So if you make $750, you'll make $375, but you will still get the $2 on top of it. So you will be making $575 for not teaching anyone, for just sitting there for 15 minutes. So you don't even need to stay the whole time for a trial class either, which is another huge perk, because you're still getting paid if they don't show up, and you only need to wait for half the amount of time. And just to clarify for those who may be new here, that is per half hour. We're not talking about hourly wages, we're talking about half hour. And in this instance, when the students don't show up, we're actually talking about 15-minute increments, which is a great payment if you ask me. The second incentive that is lovely and only pertains to trials is the student sign-up bonus. So if you teach a student who after your class will go sign up for the VIPKID platform, because the student and their parents love the platform, they like the way you taught, they like your classroom, whatever it may be, and they're like, wow, yes, I would like my kid to learn from VIPKID because of this experience. You get $5 for that class on top of every other incentive, on top of short notice, on top of your base rate, on top of every other incentive I've talked about in my other payment videos. You get that $5 bonus for that one student for half-hour class. If you're teaching a bunch of trials and you're converting a bunch of trials, you're giving them a great trial experience, and they sign up after you, $5 in your pocket. So just to clarify, each student gets 3 tries at a trial class. So they can take 3 separate classes from the same teacher, from all different teachers, it all depends. So you want to give them the best possible trial experience because you do not always know, is this their first class, their second, their third? Obviously, there's a very good chance that you're going to get that $5 bonus if you're the third teacher to teach them, because they're either going to sign up or they're not. And chances are they sign up because you gave them a great class. But if you are their teacher teaching them the very first time, you got to work it for that $5. And I have converted a ton of students on their first or second class. So don't get scared that you're not going to get that bonus. A lot of parents are like, I know I have 3 classes coming up, but I like VIPKID and I'm going to sign up today. Something else to note is that when a trial is not going super well, the kid is screaming or crying or running around the room and the parent's like, they may choose to cancel the class. A lot of these parents speak English or partial English, and they will say, oh, I'm so sorry, teacher, like we have to go. And in that instance, you get full pay, always full pay. You get the short notice. If they do, for whatever reason, still end up signing up with that student sign-up bonus, you'll get those $5. Nothing is taken away from you, and you're not penalized for the parent choosing to cancel that class, even if you only taught them for 3 minutes, which is also a very, very nice perk, a beautiful incentive. So there you have it. That is all I have to say today on Trials 101. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. I love trials. I teach them, like I said, every single day. And please leave any questions or comments you have down below, and I would love to help you. No pressure at all, but if you are thinking of signing up for VIPKID, I would love it if I could help you. And in order to do so, please use my code and shoot me an email at peyton.vipkid@gmail.com so I know that you have signed up and we can communicate about what questions you may have. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.